Hello sir, welcome to Learn Big channel. You are into astrophotography. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions. What is astrophotography in your terms?
Any photography which is above the atmosphere, starting from lunar, like from the moon, and above it is called as astrophotography.
What is your achievement so far in this industry?
See, achievements in my regard is like not getting an award or to be recognized by any organizations or institutions. To me, the biggest achievements is like I could inspire my children, my fellow people. To my knowledge, is the great achievement for me.
So what is the demand for this in future?
Regardless of all the space expeditions and the space researchers, what I feel is like, in the upcoming few years, astrophotography and the researchers is going to be in a successful career for the next generation.
Do we have any study related to astrophotography in India as well as in abroad?
Astrophotography studies, so far I haven't heard about any astrophotography diploma or any studies related to this. To me, all the astrophotographers has begun as a regular photographer, in either as a landscape or a wildlife photographer, turned to be a passionate astrophotographer through the lenses. This should be your self-motivated passion rather than any studies.
So is this profession more expensive? As we can see a lot of products behind you, it's looking massive.
To say astrophotography, I will say it rather more than a profession, it is a passion actually. But anybody who has a basic gears of photography can do astrophotography. Rather you say like when Newton or Galileo, they started astrophotography, nobody had expensive gears, they made their own gears. It is DIY. Okay. With a normal magnifier glass and a magnifier lens and a piece of mirror, they did things. Newtonians, Galilean telescopes it's not that very expensive. It is a way expensive when you say it as in the research grade. But to be a hobby, this is not quite expensive. You can do it, anybody can do it.
Will artificial intelligence take over astrophotography very soon, because robots can make anything these days, right?
See, I really cannot digest this question. Like, artificial intelligence or the robotics take over astrophotography. Robotics is a machine which is made by human beings. So, to program a robot, of course, there should be a human being. So, he is the master. Like when I was in my schools in the early 90s, when the introduction of computers was a big issue, it would become a revolution in Indian community. They said that if you are introducing computers in the offices, then it is going to reduce the jobs of people. But when computers got introduced, now the industry is entirely different. There is more vacancies, there is more jobs. It opened way for more new professions. So,
but specialist says that in near future, by 2070, almost all the community is going to be automated. So, for example, 2080, all self-driven cars are going to be fully loaded.
You see, automation is different. Okay, even all these telescopes are all computerized and automated. Okay. Even I can automate that telescope or this one. We can leave it in the night, overnight. You can just turn it on and leave it in the overnight to look into the sky and do all the activities which we needed. Okay, so automation is different. Okay, so if I sit from here, I can log in through the internet and I can control a robotic observatory of my friend in Mexico. So that's different actually. Automation is entirely a different subject. So if you don't have an automation, you will be struggling a lot. You cannot have a communication, you cannot have remote observatory or a robotic observatory which is in a pristine sky. Because you see, I live in a city where the light pollution is very high. To me, the sky is like I have only 3 or 4 stars. But my friend lives in a remote village where his sky is pristinely high. But he owns a remote observatory, which I can operate from here and I can do the research. So this is how it's going to be. So remote automation, all these things make your life easier and make yourself well connected to the world.
So, what age of children can actually get involved learning about astrophotography? Do you have any age constraint?
Astronomy, it can be started at any age. In fact, in schools, they have started from grade 3 about studying about solar system. From there, astronomy starts. Knowing about our planet, our own planet Earth, our own sun, our own moon, it starts from there, astronomy. Astrophotography is a little bit complicated, but there are things which can make the life easier for children. You can say like last year, the youngest astrophotographer of the year is a kid who was a 10-year-old girl from the UK. It doesn't matter, it's a passion of the kids, but at least, if they are like 8, 9, they can learn it because the kids are more intelligent now.
So, what message do you want to convey to LearnBig community, exclusively, children's, to select their passion?
I did my diploma in computer technology. Now I work as a health and safety manager in a construction company. So my the passion is entirely different. Okay? But what I felt in my career is, do what you love. Do what you love. Only then your life will be easier. You can shine very, very nicely. And apart from our regular, the civil engineering, mechanical, electrical, computer science engineering, there are plenty of other various arts and science subjects, which can be excelled for the kids. Because now it is unlike the 80s or 90s, academics and the job positions are different. It's like entirely different, varying a lot. They need specialization. But what I would prefer is the new young generation kids should excel in some mastery with some specializations.
So now finally, can you demonstrate the actual thing?
Demo.
What is this?
See, this is a Celestron. Actually, this is a 11-inch Spedit Cassegrain telescope. Mostly this is used for visual astronomy and for planetary imaging. So instead that if you do a little bit of modification on this, we can do some deep space imaging in this. Okay. This is a 3-inch. This is like a baby of that. This is 11-inch and this is a 3-inch. This is similar like Spedit Cassegrain, SET, we call it as an SET. And this is also good for visual astronomy. This one is a Ioptron CEM25P. This is actually an equatorial mount, but this is not a German equatorial construction. This is a center balanced construction. The CEM we call this. The main usage of this is for astrophotography and astronomical researches actually. Similar actually. All these things are used for visual astronomy also. And but because this will move in an orbital motion, this is mainly used for photography purposes. This is a smaller version of this, of the equatorial mounts. This is called as a sky tracker. Actually, this is a sky guider. Actually, it is. This will act as a tracker when based on the movement of the Earth, we feel the stars are rotating. But actually, this will track the sky, so that when you photograph the sky, you will feel like the stars are not moving. It will be like the motors inside it will guide the stars to go in parallel with the hand in hand with the motion of the Earth.
Okay. Thank you so much.